Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look whose voice is back. This guy. We are Mom Knows Ball. Both of us this time, not me on a whiteboard. So I'm Jordan King. We got Melinda King, namesake herself. How are we doing?
We're doing good. I mean, I'm gonna tell you now, I was kind of enjoying that little power dynamic last week when you couldn't talk. Nobody was telling me to rush, although you still were telling me to rush with the whiteboard. But yeah, it's Sunday. We had some good football over the weekend, and we'll get into that. So our rundown today, our mindless yapping. We got lots of stuff to talk about. Some good, some not so good. Gonna do a little HBCU segment. Make sure you all know about our Magic City Classic that took place this weekend in Birmingham. Talk to you all about that. And then our infamous, the good, the bad, the and the all right, look at us.
And that was like we're getting that,
And
I like that. And I just I wanna give Mom a shout out for, carrying the pod last week. Again, I was playing injured. I'm no hero, but like it was a kind of a grit game for me, but I feel like it was good to see Mom step up for once. And yeah, she was you were good out there, Mom. So it's kind of like an analogy to something we saw earlier today. So yeah, I'll circle back on that, and you'll see this reference come to fruition.
okay. So were you on injured reserve last week, or were you?
I wasn't on injured reserve, but I was like, I was like 60%, or like, like you're playing, but like you're not going to put up your best effort. But I was out there, like I caught a couple passes. I did my best.
Okay.
I probably had like 4 for like 50, but it wasn't my usual like 10 for 150. So, but I appreciate you, taking the reins over, and yeah.
You're back though. You're back.
He's back. He is back. Yapping and all. So.
Yapping and let's start. Let's just
as we transition
into that yapping. Alabama got the win. It was a slow start. It was a slow start, but then we just looked like a team that could win enough games to get into the college football 12-team playoff. So, I'm hopeful. This is the first weekend of Alabama football since we beat Georgia, even though we had a win in there with South Carolina, where we were like, okay, I like what I saw. I mean, it was a slow start, but still, we got the win, and it was a shutout.
See, my biggest thing was a shutout. That's offense looked okay, but it was to shut a team, another ranked team, and it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was weird to see this. It's just it makes us like sound so spoiled, but to see 15 next to our name was like, ooh, what's like? It was just weird. It was like, oh, I haven't even seeing double digits. I was like, oh, like. Ranked number 15, like, is this the right game? Like 15 versus 21. And you're like, all right, we beat a 21 ranked team, and like, and we shut them out. So it was just, it kind of threw me off to see the score bug and get used to that. But the result was what it was, and hopefully we get bumped up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, the 15, I just kind of made my skin crawl. I didn't like it.
Yeah. It's tough to see. And somebody called me on Saturday and it's like, is Alabama ranked number 15? I mean, this was before the game started. I was like, yeah. And they were like,
Mom,
they were a fan, and they were like, is Alabama really ranked 15? It's like, yeah.
And like, there's gonna be a day, and I'm sorry to tell you this.
No, Jordan.
There's not gonna be a number next to that name, and that's gonna be like, it's naturally gonna happen there. And so we're, it's just weird. We're just used to seeing, like, I feel like 7 or 8 is like the lowest in my head of like, I know we've been lower than that, but it was just, there's going to be a day where we're going to be happy to make the top 25.
Okay.
And that's but that's not to say that's
no.
not tomorrow.
No.
That's not
No.
3 weeks from now.
Okay,
I'm just
Jordan,
saying, like, you're
enough. Okay, I can't
All
take.
right, I'm just gonna
But
make her emotional
okay,
now.
one more thing I have to say about that game. I love petty. You know, you and I can be a little petty. I love when Mizzou was down, 4th and 1, like on the 1 yard line, and the game was, for all intents and purposes, over. And we put back in our starters, a lot of our starters on defense to preserve the shutout. Like
we love it. Yeah, I mean, it's just people. We might not be the traditional like hard-nosed Saban Bama teams, but like F around and find out. I think sometimes we got to remind folks who we are. So, and also, I think it also, for me, seeing Vandy almost beat Texas was like, okay, like, you know, Vandy's a good team. Like, that's not a bad loss anymore. Like,
yeah,
it's not. And so,
yep.
You know, I don't want to get too, you know, into the, you know, we've done a lot of Bama talk, but it's just, So
on, you know, on the other side, because, you know, again, like we say, we just can't have nice things. Our Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, they tried.
Yeah. I think my expectations are at this point, like, I just want us to be competitive. But then I want us to be competitive and not get blown out. And I'm like, all right, like, we're making it a game. And then, like, we get a lead late, and I'm like, ooh, like, is this about to happen?
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, it's not. Like, we got a lead, and we got the lead in, like, the end of the third quarter, and then their starting quarterback gets hurt, and you're like, all right, we got this, like, bet. And we give up a 38-yard, you know, rushing touchdown to Josh Jacobs. Shout out Bama.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's so quick. It's like the joy of it. And then we score a touchdown with like a minute to go to tie it up. And then they
get that long
literally
pass.
2 plays later, the long pass.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's game over.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, it's not going to be our year. But what I did like about this game is Trevor Lawrence, like, he has something. Like Trevor Lawrence showed why we drafted him number 1 overall. He's talking trash. Like, there's a great clip of him, John, at one of the Packers guys. And it's just like, it's good. Like, I've seen a couple recently, and it's just good to see him like he's like rallying the guys. Like, there seems to be something there, you know, maybe with the new coaching staff. Again, I think Doug Peterson's days are numbered. And we have one of the toughest, like, I mean, they keep on talking about the gauntlet that we have to go through these next 5 weeks. I mean, I think the combined record is like 25-5. Like, we're probably gonna be. It's not gonna be a great couple weeks, but if we can show, if Trevor Lawrence can like be consistent and our offense can put up numbers, like, I'm happy. I know that's some loser talk going from Bama to Jacksonville, just being happy with like, all right, at least we didn't get embarrassed, you know?
Yeah.
It was almost the upset, so.
And with it was, you know, it was good football today, like that first slate of games, all those early games, with the exception of the Detroit versus the Titan games and the Eagles versus the Bengals. Let's go Eagles. All the other games were like 1-score games. Like the final score was, you know, it was less than.
It was a good
slate.
I mean, they say it's any given Sunday for a reason, you know, because I feel like college football slate last on Saturday wasn't as great, and we had 2 great weeks, so it was good to kind of be reminded. All right, NFL has still got it, you know, it's still got the mojo, and I'd be remiss if I didn't circle back on the analogy of one person being injured. I don't want to compare myself to this person, but of one person being injured and then another person stepping up, and that is our guy, Jameis Winston, with the big upset W over Lamar Jackson. And he was the most Jameis of Jameis's that you could have. My guy was given, you know, definitely like preordained pregame speeches. And then after the game, he quotes, the great philosopher Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts once in a lifetime. And my God, just like that's what we want from Jameis. I don't know if this is gonna be consistent, but Jameis is just gonna Jameis and just let him cook and put a mic in front of him, let him throw for 400 yards, probably like 4 picks, but also 4 touchdowns. And it's just good to I don't know. I know Jameis can have his moments of all right, relax, but I enjoyed it lived up to the hype of a Jameis game right to the end where he is quoting out of nowhere Eminem, for just no one's talking about that song today. I mean, it's a great song. It's very random. And so it's Cleveland isn't Detroit. So I don't know what the connection is there.
Okay.
So
Jordan,
it has no, yeah.
You're rambling. I didn't know that was the, now I didn't know who you were going to compare your going into last week's podcast to what injured player. And so, but you're not, I'm Jameis though.
You're Jameis, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I got a little carried away with
You
the
did.
story time.
Yeah.
Look, I'm making up for lost times. I might not be my sharpest and concise with my words, but I missed you guys. I feel like I gotta get the words out. But yes, I am the injured quarterback. You are the Jameis.
Okay.
To step up.
Okay.
And so we circled back there. And also I had to give Jameis some love. It was just fun,
Yeah. No, yeah.
You better lose yourself in the music the moment.
No, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop there. And I know we've Bama overloaded, but we love seeing our boy Rock playing in the game last week. And I text his mom, Markeisha, when he went into the game, and we were talking Roll Tide and just going back and forth. So we're going to have them back on the podcast a little bit later in the season. And so, okay, I guess it's time to just move on from because we could do this. We could do it whole. And in fact, I think we will do a whole entire podcast one day where it's just a bunch of mindless yapping. But I want to talk about the Magic City Classic that took place this weekend in Birmingham, Alabama. It's a football game, but it's more than a football game. It's like an entire week of activities. It's not this competitive Alabama-Auburn game. It's like a big family reunion. It's Alabama State and Alabama A&M. And so our producer, Tam, went to Alabama A&M. But she's in a house divided. Her mom went to Alabama State. Her dad went to Alabama State. My mom, her grandma went to Alabama State. So she's kind of out there by herself. So, the Magic City Classic is a big HBCU event. And even when I was in school, I'm going to say it. So the game is typically played the same weekend as Alabama homecoming. And it was again this year. When I was at school at Alabama.
What year was that again?
You know what? We're not talking about that.
I'm not even.
It was okay. It was in the 80s. I don't think.
I've heard about that time. I've heard about that era. Yep. No,
I don't think I ever attended an Alabama homecoming. Because we got in our car, whoever had a car back then, and we drove to Birmingham to go.
Well, it was either a car or a carriage, right?
No, we were riding a horse.
Was it a car or a car or a carriage? Yeah,
we were riding a horse. It was a stagecoach.
Yeah,
that's what we were doing. So I went to, I would go to that series of events, the games, the parties. So. The game.
You don't even hear about you in your party era, okay? So.
And the game ended up being Alabama State won 27-19. Still, again, the game that's the backdrop, but it really is like a big family reunion. Jordan, I'm gonna have to take you to a Magic City Classic because I feel like you have been deprived of that experience. So shout out to HBCUs all over. But that is and continues to be a cool event. All right, so it's time for our the good, the bad, the
Eh,
and if you're with us for the first time, the is something Jordan used to say when he was growing up, when he really didn't, and he still says it now, actually, where he just has a topic that he wants to just talk about. And in most instances, he really doesn't know what he's talking about. So he kind of just
there might not be similar to the Jameis Winston story. Like, it was a stretch. I got it. Like, you called me out immediately. I just I wanted to talk about it. And I was like, ooh, like sometimes I miss on those, but I just want to talk about a thing that I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is funny. I enjoyed this. This made me laugh. Okay.
Okay.
Mom.
Okay. So my first good. My
yes.
first
What
good
is your good?
is Derrick Henry. I'm just all into everything. I was looking at some stats about him, and they said he is leading in every category for a running back in NFL. Overall yards, yards per carry, rushing attempts, rushing yards, longest rush, first down rush, just everything. And I heard a broadcaster say that Derrick Henry is on his revenge tour because, his contract was up. He was a free agent. And all these NFL clubs passed on him because they're like, oh, he's 30 years old. We know in every game, Derrick Henry gets better in the fourth quarter. So why wouldn't he be getting better with age? So yeah, my good is Derrick Henry. I like
and and obviously, this is why sometimes we record when we record. It wasn't the Ravens' day, but to no fault of Derrick Henry, 11 for 73, averaged 6.5 yards a carry and a touchdown. But it's still it's weird to say revenge tour because I don't think there's any bad blood between him and the Titans. It's just the Titans were where they were, and I think it was just they weren't going to re-sign him. But it's just good to see we don't get to see a lot of running backs have long careers where they're putting up consistently, for 7, 8, 9+ years. And Derrick Henry is just one of those guys who I love seeing his name in the box score. I love seeing him, break off the long runs, and with his half his body is his legs. The guy's legs are, pause, but guy's legs are great. So, yeah. And Mom's so mad at me right now.
It's just, when I said the revenge tour, it's because of all the other teams that passed up on him, and there's some that are
everyone needs their motivation.
Yeah.
But it was a good. I like it.
Okay. What's your good?
My good is LA sports fans, in particular Dodgers fans. I feel like we don't talk about, or LA sports fans aren't talked about necessarily positively, I would say. It's not a fan base that's known to be super loyal. Obviously it's a big, metropolitan area. But I will say, they love their Dodgers. And it is it's not you can just feel it. It is, and it's rare to see a city embrace or have their baseball team be this on center stage. They have 2 NFL teams, and obviously they're newer. They have the Lakers, and I still think the Lakers are probably number 1, but I will say it's impressive, and I just love it as a fan of sports. I caught the end of that game 1, and I'm sitting there, and I have no dog in the fight. I see Freddie Freeman hit that grand slam, and I just yell, and I'm like, I don't know, call me old school, but I just love seeing those kind of moments and love seeing a city embrace its teams that way. And it's weird because both LA teams won their championships of recent during COVID. so they didn't really get a chance to, Lakers and Dodgers, and Dodgers title is, it was in a 60-game season. So it's going to be interesting to see, they're up 2-0. We'll see what happens. If they win, like how hard the city's going to go. And I'm enjoying just watching as a fan. Again, I love seeing the biggest stars on the biggest stage. It's great to see Ohtani. Hopefully he's okay. It's cool to see Judge in this moment. New York, LA, the debate of the century. I know which side I'm on. I'm not going to say that here because I don't want to lose subscribers. But yeah, that's my good. Just LA sports fans, and I guess go Dodgers. But
well, you're in LA now.
I guess I just want both teams to have fun. So
no, you sent the text around. Oh my God, this game, and then I went to see how it ended, and then I saw that grand slam, and I was like, oh my God. And then then they won last night, so they're up, and you were also at Thursday Night Football.
I did, yes. I went to that's the thing. It's like I went to SoFi Stadium for the first time. I got the full SoFi experience. Shout out to my employer for the tickets. But it was a fun game. Thursday Night Football is such a toss-up. And I also got to see a fight at the end. So
okay,
I mean, it was just all it happened.
We could leave that part.
I didn't film it, so
okay. My bad is, and that the game has already been played. So Tua came back, and after his concussion, and I think my bad is, and Miami ended up losing the game today too. He's not wearing a Guardian cap. And here, I know that we all have to kind of step into, our purpose, and football is clearly his. I'm just nervous for him. That's all. And I think I saw that he's going to try something else. But, today, they lost the game, but he's fine. So, that's all we can ask for.
With the Tua thing, I heard that there was a moment where he slid instead of trying to get the extra yards, and the whole crowd clapped, which is like in itself like okay, that's good, but it's also like, the fact that they have to do that it says a lot. I will just say from the football standpoint, like it's nice to see like that offense reach its potential. He didn't, he played pretty solid, no interceptions, no turnovers. And, they obviously came up short against a good team, but it felt like he kind of just, it was obviously not an injury where he was like, it was an arm or a leg. So like he comes back and he's good. And some people, look, when you love the game, you love the game. And, who are we to tell him what to do? So,
So what is your bad?
My bad is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, just a dumpster fire right now. He starts the week off with a great viral video of him digging for gold on the sidelines, picking his nose, and then eating his boogers. It's not great, I guess we've all been there. No comment. And then today, the Jets lose to the Patriots. The Patriots, who had a rookie quarterback playing, who then I think got injured, and Jacoby Brissett came back in, who got benched because of the rookie quarterback, because he was playing so poorly, and the Jets still lose. It's just not great, Bob. I don't know. It's not great. And, they bring in Devontae, they do all this. It's like, we got the crew back, and it's like, I don't know. You guys are going nowhere fast. And it's just, it's just like it feels like he's got his hands all over these moves, but pretends like he doesn't. And it's just like, I don't know if I really feel bad. I guess the booger thing is like, it's just not great.
Okay, well, I appreciate the visual in my mind now about the booger.
I mean, we'll show the full visual. So.
I got the visual now. I got it. So appreciate it.
All right, what's your
is, and the game is being played now because we record on Sunday. the Carolina Panthers announcing that Bryce Young is going to be starting. Well, who else was going to start, right? Andy Dalton is hurt. I mean, it and again, obviously I'm really biased and I'm not, I'd like for the Panthers to support Bryce a little bit more, but it sounded like they were making this big announcement, and it's like, well, who were you gonna start, right? With Andy Dalton hurting his finger in a car accident, and then what if Bryce wins today? Then what we're gonna do? It's just I have no issues with Andy Dalton. He has had a great career. I do have issues with he has had a great, I mean, he has won some big
He's
games.
had a career. Yeah, he's had a career. No, it's good.
Okay.
All right. For my
Good to have you back, Jordan.
I
Love
know.
having
I'm as cynical as they come today. He's
Okay.
back in midseason form. My to end the pod, I want to be Debbie Downer again, but the LeBron and Bronny thing, it was just all very awkward. I don't know who that was for. Like, it was cool when he said it a couple years ago, I want to play with Bronny, and we were all like, yeah, like Bronny's, gonna be a top prospect, this and that. And then as time goes on, you're like, all right, he doesn't pass this test. He's like, not putting up great numbers in college. Then he had the heart thing, and then he enters the draft, and then he gets drafted by the Lakers, and then Summer League happens, and that's not great. And then the preseason happens, and that's also really not great. And then it's like, we're going to play him that first game when, like, if he was not LeBron James' son, he would not be there. Like, he would not be, there's like an argument to say he wouldn't even be in the G League. And so for it to happen, it felt very manufactured. And it's, I guess, a cool moment for LeBron to show, look, I have a son who's old enough to be in the NBA, which is factual. But he does not right now deserve to be in the NBA. And I feel kind of bad for him because, like, I'm sure he just like, I know I'm not. I mean, again, from what I've seen, he hasn't said anything like off, but it's just, the whole thing is just weird and like, not weird, it's just awkward. It was just a kind of like cool, but like not that cool because this is fake, it's literally fake.
Here's my take. I don't know how Bronny feels. He looks like he might not be that excited about it because he looks like he just kind of want to have his own identity. I don't know. But I am all about LeBron James using his influence to get his son on his team with him. In everything else in life, in the entertainment industry, in corporate America, in government, there are family relationships and nepotism. And this is a time where LeBron James said, yeah, I'm the big dog. And yeah, I want my son playing with me. So that part I have no problem with because it's like so many people are in jobs that
we made it this like moment, like it was like they did a commercial with Nike, and it's like it became this moment that I guess it was just the volume of it, and I guess maybe it was gonna happen like that anyway, but it's like, all right, you have to like be a little self-aware that like, yeah, like nepotism, it's all good, I guess. It's all good in the hood. But it's just like making it what it was, like it was this big thing. I was just like, all right, like relax. So that's my again, it's cool, but like who's it for? So
yeah, like I said, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it from the standpoint of him getting an opportunity that some say maybe, whatever, but nah.
Where's why didn't I get the, Nepo treatment for the NBA?
Well, you're my co-host. Do you know how many people wanted to co-host this podcast with me? Do you have any idea? Any idea, Jordan?
2, 1, 1.5.
Well,
okay. I don't know. Yeah. Look, we're all you'll tell me. I mean, I
Yeah,
can
and
only
so here we
go.
are, and
I'm lucky to be in your presence, and so thank you for bringing me along for the ride.
And what we're going to do next week, we're going to start every other week bringing in a guest to participate in our the good, the bad, the. So we're not going to tell you who the first guest is, but you'll see next week, and maybe we'll do a few promos to get them ready because they're excited.
I don't even think she knows what that means, but like she'll just say it, and she'll be like, Jordan, like put out a promo, and I'm like what is? It's just like, guys, she saw the word once and was like, I think I like that. Anyway, that is it for episode number 12 of Mom Knows Ball. Subscribe on all forms where there are podcasts, as well as YouTube. We appreciate the feedback. Continue to stay locked in on ball. We will. I know I will. And I'm pretty sure Mom will too.
I will.